and welcome to another Oscars Week video. If you have missed any of my Oscars Week videos, or if you are coming to this out of order, I will leave my playlist linked up here. I really enjoyed making these Oscars Week videos last year. I like talking about my thoughts on all the nominations because when it comes to the nominations, generally I have seen most of the films and then I have a couple of weeks to catch up with the rest that have been nominated that I have not seen, and so that is always fun. Today I am going to be talking about adapted screenplay, original screenplay and director. So it's going to be a slightly shorter one today because there's only 3 categories to talk about. The big one is going to be when I talk about pictures and animated pictures and foreign features and documentary features. So first of all, let's talk about adapted screenplay. In this category we have The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women and The Two Popes. It's interesting to me that The Two Popes has been nominated because it didn't blow me away as a film and it didn't blow me away as a screenplay. I think that, again, also The Irishman, I'd probably rather go away and read the book of this one than watch the film again. But I did not know that Jojo Rabbit was an adaptation until somebody commented on one of my videos and told me, and I kind of wish I'd read the book before seeing the movie because that would have been an interesting one. But then we have Joker and Little Women, both of which to me stand out as really good adaptations of, you know, novels or comics or stories which should have already been told. And obviously both of them already have a lot of other film adaptations to them. So we've seen the Joker portrayed in many different films and there are multiple different versions of Little Women and various like spin-off stories and things like that from Little Women. So for me, both of these are really, really strong contenders. And so my pick would definitely be Little Women. I really love the way it was kind of changed and something different was done with it, and because otherwise it just would have been, oh, here's Little Women again, here's another version of Little Women. It gave you something new and something different to watch on screen and something that definitely benefits from a rewatch. You notice different things when you watch it again. And then I think that my prediction for this one might be Joker, just because I know that people don't seem to like to, you know, vote for women in this thing. And so I feel like I would really want Little Women to win. And I think that Little Women really deserves to win. And that's definitely my pick. But I think my prediction might be that they will go away from that just because this film hasn't received a directing nomination. And so, despite getting a Best Picture nomination, how does that happen? Anyway, so my prediction might be that they might swing in favour of Joker rather than in favour of Little Women, which I think is the wrong choice, but that's just my opinion, and I've given you my reasons for it. So yeah, adapted screenplay, my pick is Little Women, but my prediction is probably Joker. I would love my prediction to be Little Women as well. I really hope that Little Women wins, but Little Women is my pick, just to be clear. Then we have original screenplay. We have Knives Out, which was the only Oscar nomination for this film, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And I think that probably 1917 will win in this category. And I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the way it was told. For me, it's more about the kind of direction and the production value for this one rather than the story, and I'm surprised that there was no acting nominations for this film as well, which, you know, I've talked a little bit about my surprises for the acting nominations in that video, which, you know, you can go away and watch if you would like, if you haven't already seen it. But yeah, I thought that, you know, it did a good job and it's probably going to win in this category if Quentin Tarantino and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood doesn't win. For me, I really liked the emotional roller coaster of Marriage Story and the fact that it wasn't just somber and sad the whole way through, because it totally could have been. You know, you're telling the story about two people separating. It could just be really dour and a real dirge the whole way through. But I loved the emotional roller coaster that it was, and the highs and the lows and the difference between those two. And so the screenplay for this one for me was really, really strong. But also the screenplay for Parasite was also amazing. It was like reading a really good kind of twisty thriller novel. You think that it's going in one direction, then all of a sudden it goes in a different direction. And this is a tough one. I enjoyed all of these screenplays. I guess maybe my prediction for this one might be Parasite, and my pick might be Marriage Story, like my personal. But then maybe I'm going to go with the same one, my pick and my prediction both being Parasite, because I did really enjoy the screenplay of Parasite. I enjoyed the story as well as the way it was told. Yeah, this is a thinker for me. I feel like I should have arrived at a decision before hitting record on the camera. Yeah, I guess I'm going with my prediction as Parasite. I think it's a safe choice, even though 1917 is kind of sweeping things. And my pick as Marriage Story. Okay, I'm deciding. That's my pick. And then moving on to directing, we have The Irishman, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. And for me, my personal preference would come down to 2 in this category, because I came out the film mentioning the direction and mentioning the directorial choices that were made, and those 2 would be 1917 and Joker. I think a lot of the awards in this category so far, this whole award season, seem to have been split between Parasite and 1917. So I think that probably my prediction for this one might be 1917. But I think my pick definitely lands between Joker and 1917. I just think that they were both amazing, you know, uses of direction. I think that, you know, we don't know how much of the direction of Joaquin Phoenix in Joker was fully direction and or you know, possibly Joaquin's acting choices or his improvisation. You know, we can read about things that are supposedly improvised, but we don't know everything that went on set. So I guess because I want to give some of the credit to his acting, then maybe I would pick 1917 because of that single shot camera choice and that kind of loud and quiet direction choices, and the fact that, you know, the conversations that we see and the events that we see and how they are spaced out and how they're played out. My pick and my prediction would probably be 1917 for this one, just because I feel like maybe with Joker, some of the credit needs to go to Joaquin Phoenix and not just all directorial choices. It's a tough one. It's a really interesting one. This one should have been kind of quite clear cut and quite easy to pick in a way, but there's so many kind of strong things that stand out in all 3 categories here, and reasons for them to stand out as well. So there you have it. I'd really like to hear some of your thoughts on these screenplays and these directors, and your thoughts on what will get picked and what your pick would be when we have those awards. It's going to be an interesting one, definitely. And yeah, I'll be interested to see. Yes, let me know in the comments. I'm deliberately not talking about directors who have been left out here because I don't want to get into it right now. We'll maybe talk about that when we talk about, you know, the films that have been nominated for Best Picture but haven't been nominated for Best Director. Or you can talk to me about it in the comments, for sure. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed so that my next Oscars week video, my final one, lands in your subscription feed. Or if you're waiting patiently for my bookish videos to come back on Monday, they will be coming. I have one ready and scheduled to go. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that one. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you with my final Oscars week video tomorrow.